Start our meeting. How about we start with the Pledge of Allegiance? I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And we have two commissioners here tonight. The other one's excused. So we'll start out with public comment. Please limit your time to 3 minutes. Hi, who's that?
I did sneak in, I know, I was just right at the Pledge of Allegiance, which is my favorite part. I don't know how you guys do this, but the
You just
commissioner.
stand there, yeah.
I don't have to say who I am and.
Oh,
where I
yes,
am.
you do,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. All right,
Name and address.
Belinda Larson, representing the Dayton Chamber of Commerce at 202 East Main Street. Not what it looks like representing a drowned rat. It's lovely out there. So we were approached, and I'll try and keep this to 3 minutes, and if I start to, mess up, just yell at me.
I will.
Don't start my 3 minutes yet. Had a group approach the chamber about renewing interest in the Tushi Valley Trail. And so I'm here tonight representing them as Friends of the Trail. They wrote out a really nice email about talking about the purpose, the project planning and review, safety and security considerations, background, community interest, previous commission consideration, review of the proposal, public responsibility, conclusion, and next steps. They would ask that the commissioners take a second look at this project. The Tushi Valley Trail as a whole is important to our community. And I'm not, I came in at the tail end of the first time of bringing this trail to fruition. And then when you have public outreach come to you and say, hey, what happened and what do we need to do to get this back on your agenda, your thought process, get this back out into the public. And these people, these friends of the trail, and they are more than happy to jump on board. They're more than happy to do whatever it needs done, whether it's going out. And I think it was Rick that said, we'll go make a pathway, we'll pull weeds, we'll do, and others jumped on that same thing. And others said, if we need to go and talk to the public, if we need to go door to door, if we need to, whatever we need to do to help get this back on your agenda, so to speak, to bring it back to life, to see if we can't take another crack at making it work, because it's so important. It's a safety issue. And my personal opinion, it's a safety issue. You drive that road between here and Waitsburg and Walla Walla, you have bike riders on the sides of the street, you have walkers on the sides of the road. And so it's dangerous. And it scares me to see people out there riding their bikes for sure. But we feel that this Friends of the Trail feel that it is a huge responsibility to ensure the safety aspect of it. And it's a beautiful idea, no matter what. I mean, it's a great idea for all three between here and Waitsburg and Walla Walla. And of course, I know there's phases to it. It doesn't have, we're not saying, let's just do this whole thing to Walla Walla, but phases at a time. And I know that the port staff put a lot of time, a lot of effort. They did the studies, they did all of this groundwork, and what a waste. And I'm hoping that it's not going to have been a waste of their time and energy to make this a real possibility. So, that's all I got. Anybody have any questions?
What was this part of, or did this come or reborn from the town hall?
Yes. So our town hall meeting in September, this was one of the items that was listed, was the community trail, the Tushi Valley Trail. it was brought up, and like I said, people came to the chamber and said, you know, let's get this ball rolling again. That's obviously not something that I know can happen overnight, but it's something that would sure go a long ways for a lot of people. So,
So isn't it in our comprehensive plan still?
I think so.
I think it is. So I believe it's still out there.
okay,
I know our previous commission had said they weren't interested.
okay,
I wrote letters during that time as a business owner saying, what a mistake. Because it will enhance our business downtown.
absolutely.
So I'm all in favor of whatever we can do, but it also is dependent upon monies available to do it.
Absolutely.
And my other train of thought is if we can't do it the way it was designed, that we need to pressure the state to have a walking path, bike path from Waitsburg to Dayton down the highway. So I don't want to say poo-hoo to the trail,
Right.
because I believe it would be safer and more diverse, and the bikers and walking groups would love it.
Well, and another thing that just came up this week is we have a large military convoy coming through here in August.
Oh, cool.
And it would be so cool, you know, and obviously not gonna happen by August, but wouldn't it have been cool to have that also, to just be able to say, you chose Dayton because you're doing this Lewis and Clark path, right? And guess what? We have another path that goes right along and, you know,
All Lewis and Clark's
Yeah.
path.
yes, and
Guaranteed
so,
they walk down the river.
yeah, absolutely. And so it would be really, really cool to have something like that we want to roll out the red carpet on this, and that's a big deal. So to me, this Chusha Valley Trail, just like with this convoy, it's very much economic vitality.
Yeah.
It's, and it's
100%.
safety. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Yes,
Appreciate your time.
absolutely.
Question, Mr. Chairman. Jenny, do you recall, I know you do, you remember everything, the SEDS meeting, isn't the trail, is it like consistently?
Every year it's voted in the top 3 as a community priority by the group of people that attend that meeting. Yes. Yes,
It's like
every year.
I was
This year it was, I think it was number 2 again. Yeah.
I think it
So,
was, yeah. And that's another, you know, it's just another reason. To me, it's a economic development, and it's part of, you know, who we should tie into bringing, you know, people to our town and our community. Yeah.
Nice to be able to offer when people come in, well, what can we do while we stay in town?
Yes.
We've got a beautiful walking path, we've got the river, we've got biking. You know, we can send them skiing and snowmobiling in the winter, but summer we're a bit limited.
Yeah.
But we want them to keep their resources in town and their dollars in
Well,
town.
the bike groups that go to Waitsburg and then turn around
Mhm.
because they don't want to drive down the little skinny highway
Right.
today.
Right,
Hundreds and
Yep.
hundreds of bikers.
exactly. So it's very,
Invite them here to stay and eat
exactly,
and recreate.
yep.
I agree. Thank you.
Good.
Linda.
Thank you, and I'm sorry I cannot stay in the middle of a little project for the end of this week. And for some reason, I'm not ready. I don't know. So, but I do appreciate your time,
Thank you.
and we'll talk later.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Any other public comment?
Are you up next? Are you public comment?
Okay.
I'm going, yes.
Question?
Yes, certainly.
Just because you can stand up.
State your name and address for the record.
Tammy Lentz, Dayton, Washington, community member. What is a comprehensive plan? What does that entail as far as annual look at it, 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road? What does that involve?
I'm gonna-
I was just looking it up. A comprehensive plan is what is required by statute, by law. The
Mhm.
port has to have a The law calls it a comprehensive scheme of harbor improvements, but not all ports have harbors anymore, so we call it a comp plan.
Okay,
And it is a broad look at the assets of a port district and a determination by the commission of what general direction they want the port to go with improve, it's in their work. It's basically a work plan.
So it's
And
a
there
big
are,
picture.
ours does have a strategic plan in it, so it does get a little bit more detailed than just general, but yeah, it's on our website. And it is, it has a history, and then it talks about all of our different assets, and then strategic goals. And, some reference, a capital facilities plan and some reference documents. So, I was going to look, and the last time we updated it was February of 2021.
okay,
So there is no timeline in the statute. It does not say it must be updated every year or every 5 years. The capital facilities plan has to be updated every year. What that is a document that says this is what we are thinking of spending our money on over the next 5 or so years. So if something needs to be in the capital facilities plan before we can spend money on it. And I can tell you right now, the trail is not in our capital facilities plan any longer. It has not been for several years.
Right.
So that is something that if the commission was to want to revisit it, we would need to add that back into a plan. But I don't think, I mean, because we did this in 2021, I do not believe that section has changed. I think
So
it's in the strategic goals.
it's just there, it's not forgotten, it's just kind of on the
Well,
back burner per se
And I
for the time
believe
being.
the port spent money studying it,
Oh, $637,000, yeah.
making sure it was viable, and
And it's a shame
it
because,
is a shame.
yeah,
All right,
okay, thank you for that, appreciate it.
thank you.
Real quick question for Jen, just for my information.
Mhm.
So what does it take to put that back into, if the commissioners decided to, what does that take to put it back into that?
Yeah, so if you said,
Well, we usually adopt, just for convenience sake, we adopt the capital facilities plan in November at the same time we adopt our budget. But it doesn't mean you can't change the capital facilities plan, but you would have to direct me to do so. And I would have to bring it to a meeting and you would have to re-adopt the capital facilities plan that had whatever information in it that you wanted. And the comp plan, yeah, I really am gonna have to search through it because I can't remember. Recreation. That's about the marina. Oh, no, there it is. Continue design and, well, no, so it's not. It just says continue design and engineering of the Tushy Valley Trail with an eye towards construction. So the design and engineering is done. We have the design and engineering done. So, but that's the only line in the comp plan. And then support initiatives from the Cooperative Parks Master Plan, which is a joint port, city and county plan for recreation. And I know the trail is still in that one, I believe. And I believe it is still in the county comp plan as well, and the city. But those are the overarching documents for each of the governments, and they kind of dictate what you're doing. And so it's important that it would be listed in, for sure, ours, but it helps if it's in the others. And then,
sure,
yeah. And I think that we should definitely have some discussion about what that, resuming that work would look like. That was pretty hard on some of us.
Yeah.
So there would have to be some huge support
yeah,
for the staff if you were gonna do that again.
okay. So you and I have talked about, it's probably time to look at our comprehensive plan because it has statements like that.
And broadband is out of date, yeah.
Yeah.
Broadband says we're designing it too.
Design.
Now we own it, so.
So maybe, I don't know, this year or next, we could have that on our schedule. Look at our comprehensive plan and our capital facilities plan.
Okay,
Maybe thinking Not till next year with the
Well,
road unit.
depending upon their project.
It's really, yeah, it's about timing more than anything. It depends on how we do it, but that would be a good way to do it, because then if there really is a group that wants to support the trail, then they would need to show up and come to meetings and show the commission that they
There's.
are really, yes.
Oh, absolutely, I mean,
And show the community, not just the commission, but the
Right.
community that they are in support. And, if we did it piecemeal, meaning, which I think is the way, when the last time we did an update, we did one section, just do one section at a meeting. And it can be done at a regular port commission meeting if we want, rather than scheduling a whole separate meeting, because that seems to be harder. But it could be a workshop at the beginning, or just a section on the agenda that we are going to discuss this section of the comp plan. And so we would go through it, you would get that section ahead of time to read. If we had any suggested changes, we would have put that in the document we send you ahead of time. And then discuss it in an open meeting. And then when you have decided what changes you want to make to the comp plan, you have to have a public hearing. And to advertise it, put it out there for the public to read, and then have a public hearing. And hear testimony from the public before you adopt the plan. And it's best to get as much community input as you can on your comp plan. Very hard to do in the past. It's been my experience. That people just plans aren't thrilling. So, but if you bring the trail back up, it probably will be.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the way we would do it. We could do it. I just have so many, I don't want to delay you. I feel very torn right now because I don't want to delay it. I just ask my staff, I am just maxed out right now because of the 3 big projects. So actually 4, if you count the railroad crossing. So that's the only hard part. But if we did it slowly and gently, I suppose maybe we could get started on it. The fiber project has to be done by October 31st. So if we wanted to wait until then my calendar would definitely be freer after that project is it's done. So.
Part of my pause, and I totally understand, that as far as what the projects that are on the books right now.
Mm.
But part of my pause, and especially with this coming out of the town hall, when you have a group of citizens that are into a project,
Mhm.
Butterfly, you just go through some other projects that they've been doing. If we start delaying them, that interest kind of goes away, and I don't want that to happen. I want to try. So if there's anything that we could do from even into the facilities plan or something to that effect, just so that we're showing we're gonna try to move one way or the other, whatever the commission decides, I think that's what I'm saying. But to move in whatever direction, just so they know. Rather than waiting for a whole year for them to know.
And I'm not saying delay it a year. I'm saying it may take us a year.
Oh, no,
to get there.
yeah, but as far as to let them know, we're not gonna. One way or the other, that no, we're not gonna do it, or yeah, we are gonna look at it, or what.
So I'm looking at you, and I'm looking at me. Are we going to not be negative on the trail?
You're asking, no, I think from an economic vitality standpoint, I think it's a great thing. I think
So
it's a
am I.
great thing.
So,
And I think that's our job.
yeah,
So if you're asking for that,
Yeah.
anything we can do to improve,
prove our
Improve that.
economic
Oh my
development
gosh.
and our
Right.
community
yeah, so.
overall.
And I do remember reading, the economic impact of that trail that was done. There was a study that was done when you guys did this before. And I thought it was pretty substantial, if I recall.
Yeah, the work is done. That's it.
The
Yeah.
economic impact was pretty substantial.
Oh, yeah.
So,
In funding, the funding mechanisms are very sporadic, so really, until you're going to spend money on it, the plans that we have are fine. I'm afraid that local programs, which is the DOT program that you apply for trails, is open right now. It is not possible for us to put in an application. It's not possible.
This year.
So, yeah, and it's every 2 years. But there are probably other, there's also RCO, there's other funding mechanisms, but that would be I guess the first thing would be for you to direct me, and I do have a little bit of hesitation because we're missing a commissioner, but, to direct me to look for funding, to construct a portion of it. Or, that would probably be the first thing to do,
So.
or maybe the group could work on it too.
The last commission meeting, if I'm not mistaken, we've talked about extending down to the food center, right?
Yes, and I actually talked to the
With-
city about
with the
that.
city.
I did. I talked
Yeah.
to the city about that, yeah. And Ryan said he thought it was a good idea. I don't know if he's pursuing it.
Right.
Because I was hoping he could pursue that local programs that's open right now.
Right.
And then
So
do
that's-
that first phase, which would then, I thought would be a great start. And I don't, that segment is not controversial, I think everybody knows that the people that live at Valley View Trailer Park need a safer way to get to town, so.
And
Look,
Yeah,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and just even, Jenny, what I've just, heard in the last 10 minutes is more information. We moved here again, right at the end of that. And so what we felt as cyclists was just all the negativity from other folks that didn't want it, but we didn't know a thing about it. We just wanted a safe way to ride. So hearing progress that you've shared, I mean, that being laid out in front of the community, to me, is showing that you're moving forward in phases, in steps. This is what's been done so far. Yes, we can use this. No, we can't. I mean, just even little food like that to me has been beneficial. And there is more to the group truly than just us two. But, just, and again, coming to meetings, listening, learning. I'm just getting into this now, so I know what I need to do and where I need to go, but, the funds that were spent before and design that were spent, that were developed before, those would be looked at again. You wouldn't have to put that big outlay out again.
oh, no, the plans
Okay.
are on the shelf, yeah.
Okay,
No,
good.
the,
All right.
I say on the shelf, they're digital.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But they're paid for.
Yep, yeah,
Okay.
they're called 90% construction drawings.
Okay,
So what that means is if you decide you're going to seek funding, part of the funding you would ask for would be design funds to finish it to 100% and put it out to bid.
Okay, I'm gonna move the
Yes,
meeting along.
yes.
Thank you so much for your input. Really appreciate it. Anybody else on Zoom that has any public comment? Anybody else on Zoom that has public comment? Hearing none, let's move into our agenda items. Administrative items. Approve the minutes. Have you had a chance to review them? I have.
Okay, I would make a motion to approve the monthly meeting minutes from February 11th, 2026.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Monthly budget report and approval of documents.
signature first, please.
No, on mine or Scott's.
Scott's.
So
Okay, budget report, we had, pretty typical, expenses for the month. The big ones are, let's see, we're looking at the voucher sheet is what I'm looking at first. I don't want to start talking before you know what I'm looking at. Interesting vouchers would be, $1,250 to the Columbia County Treasurer's Office, and those are pass-through funds from the golf show. Art Mill is web hosting for our Choose Columbia County website. The Boggs Ortuño bill, which was just enormous. Was bigger than normal because of the main stem malt work, the lease work that we did. That's why I'm calling you out.
Worth every penny.
Worth every penny.
we agree.
Department of Health, that is the LOS, which means large on-site septic system permit from Lions Ferry Marina. That is a once a year permit. I swear a couple of years ago it was $600. Now it is $2,000. And then Precision Garage Doors was damaged to Ace Garage Door by a customer. One of his customers. Did you ever get his? Nope.
No,
you
it
never-
wasn't, well, it wasn't a customer, it was a vendor.
Okay, he said the vendor would pay, but
Yeah, we never got
we've
that.
never gotten the information from him. Roto Rooter, we clean out the grease trap at Blue Mountain Station, building number 1, twice a year.
Mhm.
Because there's it's from the commercial kitchen,
Yeah.
gotta have a grease trap. And then, of course, 0 dB at the bottom, that is the Starbuck, fiber design. So
Which
those are
is
the
the-
ones I thought I would
Which is the
call,
pass-through.
yes, we get,
Mhm.
yeah, we get reimbursed from Curb, and then, Inland Cellular is providing that. So those are just the ones I called out, so if you have questions on any other ones, I'm happy to answer them.
Scott, you good?
I'm good.
All right.
Okay,
Sign me.
So leases.
we have 2 leases this,
We're not gonna do this.
they just look at it, yeah, if they have a question, yeah.
Did you have any questions on this? I didn't.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Stop adding to it.
So we have 2 leases this month. The first one is with Blue Mountain Irrigation and Landscaping. And that is Dustin, who does work for us all the time, and he is going to lease we call it the cage. It is the secured fenced area on the east side of industrial building number 4, which is the co-working. Ace Automotive was leasing it, and so it's done. I think, is the last car gone? We'll talk about that later, but anyway. Dustin would like to lease that secured space because he lives about 25 or 30 miles out of town. So he would like to lease it for some equipment and supply storage. And we told him that was fine as long as he lets us share it with him, because we keep our fiber supplies there. And also it is the east access to Suite E at the co-working building in case our new tenant would need to use a secured parking area. So he is fine with that. He does no problem sharing. So it's a 2-year lease for just that bare land from Dustin.
Do we need a motion or just?
No, just if you sign it, that's good enough. We need signatures on leases for real property. That's kind of the law. And then our second, I will notarize your signatures later. I know you. Then our second lease is exciting, and it leads into our discussion of conference room, and that is our discussion with RAD, Rubenser Driving School. We did meet with them after the last meeting and talked about the potential for them moving down to Suite E. I do have to say they were very nervous when they came in the meeting, which made me feel kind of bad, because we had not discussed anything with them at all, so they just assumed that they were getting kicked out or something. So they were pretty excited when they saw the space, actually, because it's a nice big space. It gives them a lot more room. So they were willing to move down there. It is about double the rent they're paying here, but it is a little bit, we gave them a good rate because they were willing to move. And their lease rate does include, in that building, it includes utilities. And
we need them.
yep, and we need them, and we made sure that they understood that we all value their business very much and that we wouldn't do anything unless they were in agreement, and they were. So that is a 2-year lease for Suite E.
Excellent.
Okay.
Thank you for working on it.
You're welcome.
Very much so.
You're welcome. Yeah, so that's leases, and then we do need to discuss conference room a little bit. That's next on the agenda.
Yeah.
So
Let's go there.
if we are going to expand the room, I'm gonna need to get an architect. Okay, so we have to have an architect to help us with tearing down a wall, and this room has a drop ceiling. The reason is this building has vaulted ceilings, and it echoed so badly that the port commissioners couldn't hear. And so the architect at the time that I used suggested this drop ceiling, and it fixed it. I mean, he was right. It's kind of, it's kind of sad not to have that big area, but then the room next door still has the vaulted ceiling. So we will have to figure out how to match those up. Carpet, I mean, there's a lot to do to make the room, to make it into a bigger room. It's very exciting. I mean, we'll have some natural light, we'll have 2 doors. We've also talked about the idea of being able to still have a door to close the 2 off.
I'm glad you said
So
that.
there could be 2 separate spaces. So,
I agree.
if you have ideas, anything specific that in mind, we are also like to have an area where there could be food, if it's an event with food or a meeting with food. There'd be a place you could lay out food, and I don't know if we want a sink or not. We've got a little sink in there, but it's pretty small. Anyway, so that would be a fun thing to try to get some ideas and redesign the space.
So I would entertain a motion to go ahead and hire an architect and
Or expansion.
expand our space.
I would so move.
Any discussion? Jenny, do you have, is that?
Yeah, that's
Broad
perfect.
enough?
Yep, that's perfect. And I've got, yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, all those in favor?
I,
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Okay, so if you have, like I said, if you have any specific ideas that you want to see implemented, let us
Let
know.
you know.
Well, we can get it done.
And when is Rad?
Oh, they want to be out April 1st.
Oh.
Yeah,
So quick.
right away.
Okay.
We do have to carpet the space down there. It is a concrete floor. I think I told you
Yeah.
that. So Tracy's got samples. We went down today. I think we've got chosen what we
Big
want.
plush,
Yeah.
jag,
Green.
green.
Rad, you go with the rad name,
Yeah,
right?
Rad.
And we think we can get it in the last week of March, right?
Yes, he says we can get it in before April 1st.
Yeah, so that's our goal, is to try to get it done.
Perfect.
If they wanted to they have a class going right now, Rad does. And they thought that it would actually be great to, which I don't think that'd be my choice, but they want to move during the class and take their students down and say, okay, we're moving down to this space as a way of orienting people to the new
Word of
building.
mouth.
Yeah,
Spread
so
Word.
they thought that was a great way to do it, so. yeah.
No, we don't want to lose them.
Oh, no.
They're very valuable in
No.
our community.
But they were okay with paying more rent down there, it was okay, they were prepared to do it, they've had a very nice situation up here for a long time, and they know that,
Good.
They know that this has been a pretty,
This will be great for.
Yeah. oh yes, it'll be very nice to have up here, it'll be really change our building a lot, lots
Update
of people can meet here.
on port assets.
Okay, so under the industrial park, I was just gonna talk about the carpet in Suite E that we need to do. Ace Automotive has moved out, but, has left behind some things that are not very great for us. We've argued with him quite a bit about it. But there is a, giant pile of tires, which is an environmental hazard. That he's going to Mexico for a month. He says he'll work on them when he gets back. So we're still trying to work out how that's gonna go, because they need to go to a recycling center, which is expensive. And then there are cars, there were 11 cars, but we're down to 4, I think. Tracy, this girl, she's been working on it. And Shane put a post on Facebook, and people have been coming and getting their cars.
Made a huge
So-
difference.
So, and then there was an RV that had me very concerned, but my husband knew whose it was, and we've got it out of the fenced area, and the person, we had, the person who owns it is
Responsible.
acknowledging it and responsible for it. So that was my biggest concern, because they're so difficult to dispose of. If we end up with cars that we can't get rid of, Kyle will take them. He can take cars. Taking RVs costs a lot of money. So anyway, we're working on it. It's unfortunate, but we're working on it.
How much is a tire at our, up here at our,
Oh, I don't think they take them.
they do, I've seen huge piles of them, and then they bring.
We looked it up, to dispose of them, so that transfer station ultimately goes to Walla Walla. Is it $6.99 a tire?
I think
It's $6.99 for a passenger tire, I
Okay.
think it was.
because it's based on weight.
Right,
And
we-
so
We did some
Kinda-
looking around.
And then
estimated.
the guy that Jay used to use, when Jay used them, it was $2 a tire. Now it's 5. So to come get them, but it's, yeah,
That's a lot of money.
it is. Yeah, I've been disappointed in not wanting to spend any money. But I was reminded that, we've owned the building free and clear for a long time and gotten a lot of rent from it, so I just need to be prepared to do what's required, but it's disappointing,
All right,
very disappointing. Anyway, was there anything else in the industrial park, Tracy, that we've had to do this month? I just don't think so. Okay.
Lions Ferry.
Okay, the RV pull-through project, Brian from Anderson Perry and I had a very interesting meeting with the Corps of Engineers yesterday, and they, in the meeting, told us that they have been instructed to stop calling themselves the Corps and start calling themselves USACE, United States Army Corps of Engineers, USACE, which I thought was funny. But they are maybe willing to do that. They seem interested in wanting to do the cultural resource survey themselves out there, which would be great.
Yeah,
So Brian is working, he's trying to get a meeting together right now with the RCO and the Corps, USACE, to, I'm gonna have to change 18 years of habit, USACE to coordinate. So it's actually very good, because they also have to issue us our real estate permit to do the project and a geotechnical permit, and so they could just do it all at the same time, and it will cost money, but it would have cost money with somebody else,
Yeah.
so. Brian was thrilled, so we're hoping that's gonna happen.
plus they're the authorizing.
They are the authorizing entity,
Yeah.
that's darn right, yep. And then, so that, yeah, I guess that's the only thing on that portion. And then the concessionaire, the store is open, Joanne's got things going, she had Brian and Jen, her KOA camp, two of her KOA camp, work campers that are coming for the season, came back a month early to help her out, which I thought was great. She's got all the staff set for the season. To another 2 sets of work campers. That's the way it works out there. They get work campers that will come and stay in their RVs and work for the season, and then they go somewhere else. If you can get them to come back, it's always helpful, especially with her situation this year. And Brian he understands the irrigation system, the morages, the docks. He understands it, so he'll be really helpful. And then I did go out and meet on Friday night at 4 o'clock, last minute, met with a potential buyer for her business. So that was nice. Yep, it was a person that I think is very serious about it and I think would be great. So we'll see how that pans out. But I think one way or another, there's going to be a new lease. I don't know if you understand the complications, because sometimes I forget, but our lease is with 7Ks, which took over the lease after Jim and Angela left in 2000. I don't remember the year, 14, 15. And right away figured out that they own campgrounds all over the United States, and right away figured out that having a marina is very different. And so they sold the business to Wally and Joanne. And so they subleased to Wally and Joanne because they carried the contract. So we don't even have a lease with Wally and Joanne. We have a lease with 7Ks. I believe that the lease will now be with Joanne, and she will sublease to her new concessionaire, the new buyer. The reason all of this is because of carrying contracts and being paid. So she thinks it'll be with her for 5 years until they've paid her off, which is fine. She's great. I mean, but there will be probably a change in lease. So I've told them to build that into their time frame. If this does go through and the sale does go through, they've got to build that, because he wanted to get busy right away. And I'm like, we have to have a lease. Commissioners have to have it in their packet before a meeting, we've got to, because this is a big deal. So anyway, so there may be a new lease coming probably at the next meeting.
So her lease with
Case.
7Ks, she sells it
Mhm.
and that automatically nullifies the 7.
It doesn't. They just would like to be out of it, and I would like them to be out of it too, because Joanne is going to be the one with skin in the game. She's the one who's going to be carrying the contract and is going to want it to succeed. Not that 7Ks doesn't, but they're just more removed from the situation.
So
But
is-
she still owes them money. It all has to do with the
So
money.
there's
That's the way I
like
was.
a payoff to 7K.
Yep, I think
Yeah.
that she's asking for enough down that she would pay off
That
7Ks.
that would
Yeah.
make sense,
Okay.
if they were paid off. But if
I think
not,
that's what
then
it
it's-
is, yeah.
Yeah, that could.
Oh, right. Yeah, they won't do anything that doesn't, 7Ks they are campground brokers. They are really, this is their business. They're helping her sell it. So they will do the right thing.
Cool.
Yep. So cross your fingers for Joanne's sake,
Yeah.
this happens.
For sure.
Anything else on Lions Fair?
No.
So Blue Mountain Station.
Okay, so Main Stem Malt, I have been making my last attempt at a congressional directed spending request. I met, when Shane and I were at the WIDA conference, we ran into Mike Rizzatello, who used to be the College Place, city administrator. And he was always the master at getting money. And I mean, I'm a master at getting money, but he was really a master at getting money. And he recommended, he said that he works with I think he calls him a lobbyist, but his name's John Colton. He used to work for, which one did he work for? Murray? Do you remember? He used to work for one of the federal representatives and, or senators. Anyway, he, recommended, John actually called me and said, do you need help? So he's helping me at the moment. And we had a meeting with Cantwell's aides, and then we also met with rural development. And the bottom line is that the request we want to make for this project just doesn't fit a lot of the federal appropriations very well. Because it's so much of it is directed toward, for a private, I mean, it's to benefit a private business. It's to benefit the community, but they felt like our best shot was, one last request to, Representative Baumgartner's office. So I've met, let's see. No, I have not met with them. I have been working with John's staff and we have prepared a request and then we're putting it in tonight. We got letters of support from the chamber and from Phil and from one of his customers and from Gene Warren Farms, because they will supply barley and Sweda, yeah, for regional economic development support. And it's worth, it's really the last try. And so we'll see what happens. But having this John Colton has shown me in a very, very short period of time, the connections that he has in DC. And he just started work for the Port of Whitman. And I actually have an idea that he and I have talked quite a bit, because you have to pay him, it's a retainer, it's a monthly retainer. But where he could really help would be the wastewater treatment plant. And so I asked him if we could have, if there was potential for us to have almost like a community agreement where it would help the city, the port. He would help the city, the port, and the county if they want to participate. And he said it actually makes more sense because we really don't have enough work for him to justify the monthly retainer. I think it was like $3,000. But if we were doing it together and paying that retainer together, and my thought was railroad funding for us. Yeah. But the wastewater treatment plant, and when it's not just federal, it's state too.
Oh.
So I haven't broached that with the mayor yet, but I thought I would. I've talked to Ryan about it a little bit. Anyway, I thought he's truly connected. It's an interesting, and I think this is how a lot of these agencies get money that we didn't know about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Somebody with connections.
Yeah.
Gotta have it.
anyway,
Yeah.
so that's what I've been doing in my spare time there with that one. And, let's see, and then on the project, I reviewed the wastewater treatment report and Anderson Perry is ready to submit it to the city. That's about what we think, what kind of pre-treatment needs to be done at the plant before it goes to the city wastewater treatment plant. We would like to use vermiculture, which is the worm treatment concept. We toured a facility in Walla Walla that uses it, Refresco, a year or so ago. It was fascinating. And the results of how those worms are able to clean the waste is phenomenal. So that's by far the cheapest route. It's out of his facility. So
Right.
the waste coming out of the malt house would go to this pre-treatment facility first, which would be, we hope,
The
the
world
worm bed. And then it goes into the
city.
right, yeah. And let's see, here's one thing we need to discuss. So the architect has asked for a fee increase on this project, and I know why. When we started this, it was an 11,000 square foot building that cost about 12 million. It is now a 13,000 square foot building that costs I'm sorry, the latest one today, 20 million. And so they are asking for an increase of, it's actually 24.6%. And the building size has increased 20%, just to give you some perspective. Also, there's been a lot of work done on, integrating the malting equipment, into the design of the building. So, that made me a little nervous. I just have never had a, increase request like this before, so I sent a message to the state auditor help desk to ask if this was legal, and they said there are no statutes that limit the ability to do this, because this is professional services. It's not like it's a hard bid.
Right.
It's not a hard bid. And I told them I knew you would have to approve it anyway, but their suggestion was make sure you check your policy and make sure, probably the governing body should make that decision. I checked our policy. There's nothing in it about percentages or anything. There's really nothing much in it. It's pretty vague. But, I've also discussed it with Phil, because our 5 million in curb money is 5 million in curb money. I mean, there's no other money. So if we need to spend more on architecture, that just means Phil has to pay more at the other end.
Right.
There'll be more placed on him. So, I think, and I got my answer from the auditor right before the meeting, but I think that probably this is the right thing to do. I think that,
Bill,
somehow.
okay with that?
oh yeah,
Okay.
oh yeah.
Jenny, do you have an idea, and maybe I can make this sound right? We've paid this architect so much money already,
Mhm,
and they have designed so much of this.
mhm.
How much is left of this for him to design? Just, I'm just asking.
Well, what we have done is the design drawings. We have not done construction drawings. Although they're starting on it. I think there's probably, we're over 50%. I just don't remember how much we paid them. I asked you that the other day, didn't I, Tracy?
Yeah, it was 600 and something thousand.
Was it? Okay, yeah. I think we paid them, already paid them about 600, this is 700,000. Another way to look at it is that their bid, it wasn't a bid. Their estimate when we started was about 5% of the cost of the project. And this new number is 5% of the cost of the project. So it's the same percentage. It's because the cost of the project has gone up so much.
That's what I was.
Yeah.
concerned.
Yeah, so I really do, I'm sorry I didn't have something to send you ahead of time. This was all, I didn't have this information ahead of time,
So
but
do you need a
I
motion?
do, if you would, and it would go from 700,000 to $872,103.50, to be exact.
I'm the numbers guy. Jenny's gonna have to help me. I would like to make that motion.
Right now, the project is not to exceed 700,000, the design.
And we're going to.
And
up
we're
that
going to
limit.
up that not to exceed to
So
872,000,
the project cost not to exceed
$872,103.50.
$872,103.50. I do.
Okay.
I'll second that. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Jenny.
You're welcome. I'm sorry to throw that on
Any
here at the
more
last
things
minute.
involved?
No, that's plenty.
Okay.
Oh, the pollinator garden at Blue Mountain Station too. I'll let Shane talk about the pollinator garden.
So, some of you are aware, there's a group that was formed out of the town hall that Belinda, brought up earlier. It's, the Monarch Project. It's got a couple of different names, Monarch Project, Pollinator Garden, Butterfly Garden. It is, well underway at Blue Mountain Station. Jenny has graciously agreed to let them use the garden. Dustin has installed the base, irrigation system for that. And Jeff Keating, Belinda's husband, is leading the charge ferociously, I might add. And there's a great group behind it, so they are working on design, and we've pushed back on a couple of things, and they're like, okay, we get it. And they're excited, so we're not letting the fire go out on that. And so Jeff and I talk probably almost every day at this point. Yeah, and so he is trying his hand at writing a grant.
I was gonna say.
I gave him my login, I gave him my
That's
login.
all, and so we told him that if he ran him up, that to please wave the white flag of surrender, and we would jump in and help him, so. That about it?
Yep,
Cool.
Very
Thank you.
knowledgeable about it, for sure.
So railroad,
okay, I put the performance report in your packet.
yeah,
So, this is where they tell us each year what they've been doing and how many rail cars they're running and trains and all that stuff.
very detailed.
Yeah. Yes, it was. It's more detailed than
Yeah.
some of them have been. So that's a good sign. So the tour on the tracks, Mike, I have news even since you
All right,
had heard news. The Pullman car is not available.
okay,
They are taking it to Lewiston or somewhere. Some other railroad's gonna use it for a while, so Paul didn't pay for insurance on it, so we can't use it.
okay. They said they thought it could be available
It's not.
by May.
It's not. They had
Okay.
called me and said it's not. So, we can do it via high rail. They have 3 high rail vehicles. And a high rail vehicle takes a driver plus 3 people, so 4 people per vehicle. They would have Dan and Oscar drive the 2, I was thinking 2 would probably work. Dan and Oscar drive the 2 high rails. And they are both drivers with knowledge of the track and its condition. And so, I wanted to talk about timing, but without Johnny here, it's gonna be harder. He's really the wild card because he works. And they really wanna do it on a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday.
Now, wait a minute, I still work.
That's true. I'm so sorry, Scott. You just are a little more flexible.
You did use the word retirement.
No, he's a little more flexible than the Department of Corrections. So, is there any, I guess, should I check with Johnny first, I guess,
Yeah.
and see if I could find some Mondays, Tuesdays and Wednesdays?
Yeah.
Do you would consider taking a vacation day or something?
Yes,
I don't know how else to do it.
even before May and.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, and I asked him when. Did I
And
say
he said
when?
May, last meeting.
Right.
I'm like you, I'd rather.
Yeah,
As soon as we can get on that.
Get her going.
We are, to know where we're at anyway.
But I also wanna make sure our
Yeah.
staff
Yes.
can go, so it might take 3. But maybe not, I don't know.
Well, there'd be room for 6, which is us,
Yeah,
that's
that's true,
6. Besides the drivers,
yeah.
unless somebody else wants to go.
Both,
No public.
both drivers, Jenny would be able to answer questions as far as if we were to say, so this section here, what kind of shapes it in?
Yeah, that's what he said. Dan is the head of maintenance.
Yeah,
And Oscar works with Dan. So yeah, that's what he said, because I'd already told him that. Yeah. Drivers with track knowledge.
I would say. that
Okay,
too.
well, I'll check with Johnny first and then try to email you guys some dates.
but let's,
Oh, you mean on the trip?
Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
What's that?
Record the conversation,
Oh.
record
With their
the,
permission, of
Sure.
course, but that's a great way to go back and,
public record,
Well, not only that, but you'll have 2 different people talking, and so.
With 2 different-
You might hear something different than what, or,
Sure.
you know, however it
Yeah.
splits out, so
True.
it's a good idea.
That's why
you're full of something.
that's why she gets the big.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and then lease negotiation update, so, Mike wanted to come along, so he came last Friday was a
yeah,
blur.
it was Friday.
Friday, and, I forgot to bring that file in. Okay, let's see, we went through the, response to, yeah, I forgot to bring that in, Mike. We went through the sheet that Paul had originally sent me, and then the response I sent
Yeah.
back to them. We went through each section and, it sounded like Paul was, in the first section, he had, shown some concern about that I said that at the top of the document, I had put the commissioner's vision, okay? Will you read that, Mike, since you have it in front of you, the commissioner's vision,
Is it this one?
the very top?
Uh,
Yep, the very top of that thing you had in your hand, either one of them, it's the same.
Okay. So continue freight service to existing customers, more business on the line, new customers. Better maintenance, work with the port to secure more grants. Excuse me. Ability to handle heavier rail cars and passenger cars. Explore more tourism opportunities, excursions, adds to our community economic vitality. And must look at federal grants.
So, Paul had taken just a little bit of well, he just had seemed a little concerned about our statement about that it needs to be maintained better. He feels like he's done a tremendous job, especially between Dayton and Waitsburg, and that they really do the best they can with the revenue that's generated. And so we told them that a lot of it had to do with the weeds. So we had a very in-depth discussion about the weeds. And both Stuart and Jared seemed, or not Jared, Derek seemed to understand our concerns and that we really needed them to do a better job specifically within the city boundaries of weed control.
I showed them a couple pictures
Yeah.
that I'd taken during the fair of the tracks, both directions at the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
they agreed that wasn't acceptable.
Yeah.
And that they would work harder to make sure that's maintained,
Yeah.
especially within the city limits.
yeah, and then, there was also a discussion about liability of when the train derails. That was a pretty big discussion, because Paul wants the port to be responsible for damage if the train derails due to no fault of their own. And like the example that Derek and Stuart gave was recently a snowplow, probably a county snowplow. Was it in Walla Walla County or Columbia? It was Walla Walla County.
Okay.
A snowplow had hit the crossing, hit the rail in a crossing and damaged it. And they didn't know it, and the train came through, and I don't think they derailed, but they said that was an example of where they would have derailed and it was no fault of their own, and yet they're left with this big bill of how to fix it. They want us to be responsible for some of that, which is very difficult, because if you don't know somebody did it, how do you hold them responsible?
We had a lengthy discussion about.
Very
that.
lengthy, yes,
How would we know
yeah,
that was damaged?
You mean
You-
the rail or the locomotive?
right. Well, both,
So,
but the rail, yeah, the rail, he means the rail.
The county.
Not that we'd be paying for their locomotive, but we'd be paying to replace, to fix the rail.
the rail, but not if he derailed, we're not talking about the locomotive. Or would we be liable?
No, well, that was the discussion, is that there can't be, there have to be limits. I mean, we're just a small port. You know, there would have to be a limit on the liability that we would agree to. Yeah. At least that was my
Right
opinion.
now, they're
Yeah.
responsible for everything. Yeah.
Well, in the Seth that I met with from CD, that other law firm, that to him, that was a do not, this is unacceptable. We can't take liability. But I guess, yeah, I don't know. I think this is a big deal for Paul. They say that, and I need to ask for a copy of it, but he says the Port of Benton pays for derailment. If the line's damaged and it's no fault of the railroad, the Port of Benton pays for it. So I guess I need to find out what the lease language is.
you'd need to find out what your insurance,
It's not insured,
right,
right?
so you would want to have insurance to do.
I doubt we can afford to insure the rail line. Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote down here. They want us to take responsibility for other people damaging the rail. If they are if they derail because of their own fault, they would insure it.
Or they would be responsible.
Responsible.
They were, yeah. Yeah,
And it raised a lot of red
I was
flags.
just gonna say, I could sit there and probably just go on and on and on as far as how do we know who damaged it, how, you know, that we could go back on, I mean.
Right, but it's the same for them. I mean, they don't know how to go back on anybody either. So I understand where they're coming from. It's just I don't know how to solve it.
It almost be
My-
every crossing, wouldn't it? Not so much during the rail, it's that.
Oh, yeah, it would only be a crossing.
Yeah.
It would only be a crossing, yeah.
And they did say they have installed cameras.
Some
at the
places, yeah.
Major
At the
crossing,
major crossings, they have cameras, yeah.
so that they could detect that.
But I know she's gotta leave. My idea was, because I had proposed to them the idea of us financially supporting maintenance, like we do with the marina. And so my thought was if we had a line item that was for rail repair and whatever, whatever they asked from us, if there was a derailment that they felt was somebody else's fault, could not exceed that amount, you know, whatever we had budgeted.
They
Yeah,
must
yeah.
pay for insurance.
Yes,
Or
they have
insurance.
insurance, yeah.
Perhaps it could be looked at as a percentage of that number.
Of what number?
So let's say, for instance, they pay $1 million a year for derailment insurance attributed to our rail line. Then, maybe instead of saying we're covering the the acts of a third party, we're talking about what's the value of a percentage of that.
Premium.
Yes, that,
Oh,
so that they're still getting the insurance policy that covers all derailments,
mhm,
regardless of who caused it.
which I think they probably have, yeah,
They should,
Well, we hope they do.
yeah.
but then you're looking at a percentage of that number and it's still covered by a policy.
Okay,
I mean, that just brainstorming.
yeah, okay,
And I apologize that I need to go.
That's okay.
I need to go.
Thanks, Kim.
Thanks, Kim.
I just wanted to say, I thought it was a very positive meeting. They were. One of the takeaways I took from it was that they're interested in. Tourist trains, but right now, the only legal. Section is from Waitsburg to Dayton.
Really?
well, I don't think that's the only legal section, it was the only one that goes fast enough.
I
Did
thought
they say they?
I thought they said they
Okay.
couldn't take.
I'm sorry, I didn't bring the file in.
Anyway. The point is, they're interested in third party.
The third
somebody
party doing it, yeah.
Setting it all up. They are willing to look at, moving the passenger car.
Pulling the car,
Pulling the car.
if that whoever third party wanted to contract with them.
Or if the third party wanted to do it, that was fine with them too.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
third party would have to have their own insurance and all that stuff.
But so they're interested, but at least what I took away was it was from Waitsburg to Dayton right now.
Yeah.
And that from Waitsburg to Walla Walla isn't certified to have passengers on it. But I don't know if that's correct or not. That's what I took away.
Yeah, and Stuart sent me an email yesterday that sent me a link to a place that has some great ideas on excursions, tourism excursions, and that I have someone looking for passenger equipment options. So they are trying.
So one of the things, the other takeaway I got from that is that if we chose to do it from Waitsburg to here, we would need a siding in Waitsburg. That's where the passengers could get on. And same way in Walla Walla. I said, well, let's stop in the middle of the fairways in the golf course, because that's where our line ends, and we could have everybody load up out of golf carts, but they weren't real excited about that. So anyway, I thought it was positive.
Positive. That's really good. I'm very happy with that.
Yeah.
And
They have to take what we discussed back to Paul and see what he thinks about it, and they asked me to come up with a better idea of the dollar amount, or, the kitty or whatever you wanna call it, that we would have available for maintenance and the derailments. So I probably need to send them the idea of it being just towards their premium instead, Kim's idea. I should probably email them and tell them that.
Okay.
But
Anything else
anyway,
on the
yeah, so
railroad?
we're waiting for, to hear back from them.
Good news.
Yeah,
No, it's so complicated. I can't keep track of all of this, you guys.
broadband. Starbucks.
Okay, we're finishing design. Tracy is getting ready to send letters to the residents regarding underground drops. They have to sign a waiver so that we can, bury a conduit to their house and not be, held liable for hitting anything when we do it. We are hoping to publish the invitation to bid on March 30th, and it will be due back April 24th. And really, in order to keep the project from stalling, we probably need to hold a special meeting. As soon as we have evaluated those bids and chosen the bidder, we probably need to have a special meeting and have you approve the bid, so we do not have to wait till May 13th.
Sure.
Because in this project, every day matters, because it has to be done by the end of October. So I will notify you when, and it would be like a 10-minute meeting, literally, yeah.
Sure.
And if Johnny couldn't come, it wouldn't be the end of the world, because it's just a 10-minute meeting, but we may have to do that, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay, and then we need to formally approve the recommendation on the fiber materials, the spreadsheet that we sent you.
Yeah.
WBE, it was amazing and had almost the low price and the right schedule for almost every piece. If you remember last time, we bought it from like 4 different companies.
Yeah,
But they were spot on almost everything. So other than a little bit from Power and Tel, you see my recommendation at the bottom, which is to enter into a contract with WBE for the materials highlighted above at a pre-tax total of $123,023.05, and Power and Tel for $5,934.20. And as you can see at the top, the materials budget was 200,000, so it's way lower than what the budget was.
cool.
And part of your approval needs to be to authorize me to sign contracts with these vendors. And unless you have questions on the fiber materials.
The quick question on the amount at the bottom of that spreadsheet, though, under WBE, that 123,023.05, that's the amount that you're talking about?
Correct, for WBE.
And then the other one is that 5,900?
5934.20 is Power and Tel, yes. So we're just gonna get 2 of the splice trays for them.
So I'd move to approve, have Jenny be able to sign and approve the contract for materials with WBE Technologies for $123,023.05, and Power and Tel for $5,934.20.
I'll second that. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right,
Okay.
community and economic development.
All right, so you should get out your little project sheet here, that we sent, and I will start and then I'll let Shane finish. Let's see, so on mine, I've already reported on Main Stem Mall, Project Noodle, that is the pasta business. I have a tentative date for them to come and do a site visit at the building on March, it's either gonna be the 16th or 17th, so hoping that goes well. Billiken, Project River Spark, they are continuing to do permitting and have been doing some drone surveying out at the site. I just spoke to them today and things seem to continue to move along in the right direction. I've already reported on the KOA and Starbuck. I have nothing new on Project Sprout, and I forgot to talk about the railroad crossing. I'm still working with Columbia Rail on figuring out how we procure design services for that crossing. It's not been very easy, so they've been working with a design firm, but we've got to make sure we're following the DOT rules, because it's Department of Transportation money and it's federal money.
How does that project cost
$1.9
million?
Because it's the crossing and the signals. Yeah, I know. Everything is ridiculous. I know. It is just crazy, isn't it? Isn't it? Okay, and then other reports, you guys heard all of this at the steering committee meeting, so I'm probably repeating myself, but I did report that Pacific Power had sold their Washington territory or is working on selling it to Portland General Electric. So that'll be their first foray into distribution in the state of Washington. And that sale does include the assets, which includes the Marengo 1 and 2 wind projects. So we'll see how that comes along. Shane and I went to the WIDA conference, and I would say my favorite presentation was Treasurer Pelliciotti. Did I say that right?
Pelliciotti, isn't it?
No, Pelliciotti. Yeah, I think so. Anyway, it was very, very interesting. He just talked about the state budget and the choices that they had to either raise revenue or cut, and he's very disturbed by them dipping into the rainy day fund. He's feel like they've worked really hard to build that, and he was not thrilled with dipping into that fund.
They never put it back.
Yeah, they don't ever put it back. Yeah, and then the conference was about resilience. There was an interesting presentation by the Small Business Administration about the services they provide to businesses. A lot of this was because of the floods that happened on the other side of the state. But they really do provide some amazing services to businesses during disasters. And they talked about how important it was that businesses knew ahead of time what services were available. So that was really, I did not know that. So that was really good to learn. We held our Washington Saves workshop on the 2nd of March. It was poorly attended, but a great workshop. And it's recorded and on our YouTube page. So anyone can listen to it on the Ports YouTube page if they want. I attended a Pacific Northwest Waterways Association regional meeting, and I'm gonna go tour Little Goose Dam with them on Monday. Believe it or not, all these years I've lived here, I've never toured our own dam.
Did you go
I don't-
to school?
I don't remember going. If we did, I don't remember, Scott.
We did, we took a sign.
Did we?
Even I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh dear, I wonder if I was sick. No, I don't know. Let's see. As far as these different groups on here, the RTPO held their quarterly meeting, this week. That was really the only thing I had to report there. Shane went to the Valley Tourism Exchange meeting for me, so I'll let him talk about that. I went to the Key Communicators meeting at noon today at the school, and the big news is this new gym floor will be going in June after graduation,
Wow.
so that's very exciting.
Very good.
Yep, and then I've been attending, I am on the Climate Resiliency Committee for the new comp plan update for the county. They have to have a new climate resiliency element. So I am on a subcommittee helping with that. It's very fascinating. Of the group, they did a survey, and of course, the big concerns here for people are fire and flood. So lots of discussion about, what we could be doing better to be prepared for those items. So that's been pretty interesting, and I'm paying attention to the housing element. I met with their consultant and talked about affordable housing. I did actually meet with a local entrepreneur who's interested in it, and I have put him together with BMAC.
Excellent.
And this consultant told me we'd need 98 more affordable housing units, and they mean lower income, 50, less than 50% of the median income. 98 total, 6 of them in startup. So I passed that information on to the entrepreneur and BMAC, and I'll let them go work on that.
Excellent.
And that's enough for me. Oh, Spectrum seems to be sending things. I don't know if you live here, but Tracy brings them to me like every day. We are not losing customers as of yet, but my gosh, this is just a barrage.
Yeah.
It's
that's not all of
crazy.
them. I just started.
No, she
Gathering them.
started bringing them to me because I don't get them, so
And why?
they just
They
want
want
customers, I guess. They don't have very many, so they want our customers, our ISPs. Okay, Shane, take it away.
Commissioners, thank you. Back on the tracking sheet, the Project Clean Slate, which is Dayton Laundry / Dayton Foot Shop. I've been down there at least twice in the last couple of days. The machines are set to arrive on the 16th-ish. They'll be installed almost immediately. They bought them from, do you remember what you said? Anyway, they were, they slid under the tariffs. And they actually are coming, is it Whirlpool? Maybe they sent a team And they do they install everything, they test run everything. And when they leave, those machines are ready to go. So
Wow.
hopefully by the end of March, the laundromat is up and running.
Excellent.
And then the quilt shop is scheduled to follow and open grand opening during all this weekend.
Yes.
And then we'll do a big ribbon cutting for both on that
At the same time.
at the same time. Project Palette is out there, so we can say that it is a kind of an art coalition, kind of a concept that is happening. They are in the process of a purchase sale agreement and some different things on the building across the street from the Dayton Laundry. So what I would call the other Albatross building in town.
The old Bank of
The old
Eastern Oregon.
Bank building. And so, their group is pretty excited. They are working on their nonprofit paperwork. They are working, with, their ownership group on logistics and different things. So we've met with them. We are lending support where we can, helping them with different things. So
Could we call it Project Paint Palette instead of palette? Because when I think of palettes, I think of wood pallets.
well, we were thinking of the paint palette, so,
Yeah, okay.
um,
I'm going.
but we do have pallets at Blue Mountain Station if you needed it, so.
I'm
Why
going.
is it
Okay,
great?
Project 410 is our ag-related food processing. We're working with the farmers that are leading that project on some research and development and some planning. So, as it is seeding season, we're kind of a little bit of a standstill with that one. So that one will probably come back online fully in May, and we'll be able to start pushing that forward. I've been meeting with several different businesses, retention, recruitment, expansion, helping businesses that appear to be struggling, trying to offer solutions for them, trying to help businesses expand. I'm working with one in particular to help them expand their offerings. So that never quits. Padraig was here, but he left. He has approached us, as we've talked in the past at several different meetings, about the creative district. He has submitted the pre-application,
Oh, excellent.
and so that pre-application goes in. If it gets approved, then it comes back, and that's when the big application happens. And so once that happens, we will let you know, and then we start the process to apply to actually become the creative district. So
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say, isn't he gonna form a 501(c)(3) or something like that?
He talked about it. I didn't know if he needed a whole new one or not, but he talked about it. The creative district doesn't require you to have, it requires you to have government,
it has to be a government that submits it.
government
Yeah.
Oversight.
approval or
Okay.
whatever. But yeah, so I don't know that he needs a nonprofit, but he did talk about one. Yeah, we'll see. But so are the Project Palette people talking about doing a nonprofit. So I don't know.
Theirs is more, from Project Palette, it's an education component for them. So that's why they want to be able to apply for grants and different things to help do teaching and stuff like that.
And I don't know how connected those two are. I'm not sure.
Okay.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
As I mentioned earlier, I've been helping with grant writing. Or grant wrote for the port. We were not successful with the Washington State Micro Enterprise grant. It was a pretty rigorous bucket that they needed to fill.
Yeah, and they don't have very much money.
They didn't have a lot of money.
It's been cut terribly by the state.
And so
But we did apply.
we applied, Jenny and I have some different ideas on how to maybe make that happen, with the plan that we had produced for some of our retailers. I did write a grant for $50,000 to the Department of Commerce to help, I wrote it on behalf of the Friends of the Fairgrounds, the port, and the county as support staff for the East Grandstands project. And it is for design and architecture services only. Cannot be used for construction, acquisition, anything like that. So we are helping them. And then, as I stated earlier, we've lent support if Jeff needs help with pollinator garden grant. We'll jump in and help with that.
Cool.
Events upcoming, we have the Tushy Valley Community Showcase on April 18th. That was done in October last year. Shakira and her Harvest and Harmony group, along with the Youth and Family Coalition that I sit on that board. it's the big community day where everybody comes in and the fire department comes in and the sheriff's department and merchants and vendors and anybody that wants to come in, they can talk about what they do. Ryan from the city will be there talking about the new Main Street project. Dustin, our landscaper, is gonna do a homesteading demonstration. I can't remember the other one. So it's gonna be a good day. We're
Cool.
pretty excited.
And who's the audience?
The community.
The community.
It'll be marketed to the community, so the Tushy Valley. So,
She's on Facebook, or on social media, so she does this as her project, what is it, Harvest and Harmony?
Harvest and Harmony.
It's her business.
Right.
Mhm.
yep, and then we support it. We help her with some marketing as well. Dayton Days, Memorial Day weekend. It is growing a little bit, so we're pretty excited about that. And some things have been added to it that'll be fun. As we develop that, we'll of course share that with everyone. But our goal is to get Dayton Days back to the community festival that it used to be, minus the horse racing. So
Someday.
maybe someday, stick horses. I did attend and participate in the Spokane Golf Show with the Tushy Valley Golf Course. We are lending a tremendous amount of support to them at this time. They are in the process of a change. The restaurant is not going to reopen as a restaurant. They're moving towards opening it as a pro shop with grab and go options. So the club is making some decisions on how that operates and how they work with the county. It's a weird relationship but we'll get it. The thing I will tell you that we attended the golf show last year. The golf course saw a 20% increase in golfing in 2025. The golf show this year, there was actually a 20% increase in attendees. And Claudia and I, we were busy from the minute that show opened until almost 2:30 that afternoon. I forgot to bring them, but we did pre-sell golf packages and we sold 18 of them. That was the pass-through dollars that you signed off on. We helped with marketing. So we handed out 250 of these bags, cups, stickers, you name it. But we also grabbed a hold of other merchants. So Buckwheat, Hotel Hardware, Locally Nourished, Bluewood, Lions Ferry Marina, just to name a few. We had everybody there at the table. So we used the Discover Dayton banner. And it's amazing still the number of people we talk to that have no idea where Dayton is and they live in Coeur d'Alene. So, as Jenny said, the WIDA conference, it was good. The thing for me was the networking and some of the learning. Out of that, I did meet with the SBA representative that was there, and I did sat in on a webinar, and it actually talked about all the things that are available when a disaster hits and how they wish people would come to them first before they
Yeah,
go.
we did not know this.
We did not. And they say the minute a disaster hits, even before FEMA gets on the ground, SBA wants to see these people.
Wow.
He said because they can alleviate some of the stress and frustrations
That businesses.
that businesses are waiting. There are people from the flood that are still waiting for FEMA money, but SBA has been able to go in and help them. And some of them just say, we're done. And they close the door and they walk away.
Yeah.
And so I sat in on one of this webinar and it was recorded, but it talks about all the programs that are available. So should a disaster happen here again, we're on the ready to get with the SBA.
Guaranteed, we'll have a disaster someday.
Yeah.
Flood or fire.
Jenny did mention the Valley Tourism Exchange that was held in Waitsburg. And our good friend Joy Smith did her homework. And she had every member of the commercial club there. And they talked about all the things that they're doing in Waitsburg to, keep Waitsburg on the forefront. It was really good. Some exciting things happening at Visit Walla Walla. The most exciting is there's a bike ride coming in June. We can't quite determine if it's Oregon Cycle or not, but they are bringing up to 300 cyclists to the Walla Valley. And they'll be.
Will they turn around at Waitsburg or?
No, we are working to make sure they make it all the way to Dayton. They will bike, but they are looking for other places to stay. And so we are working on making sure we are a part of that.
Good.
And probably the only other thing that I'll say that came out of WIDA was, we visited with the Seattle Metropolitan Chamber and learned about the FIFA online playbook. And so we are exploring maybe the potential, of maybe a party, a watch party.
Cool.
So, I think that's
Jane wants to have a soccer watch party when the USA plays with it, Australia?
Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like on a big screen.
Yeah. Why not?
I mean, after,
Just thinking
That's
if we had a bigger
true.
conference room.
we have a conference room.
Yeah, that wall.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so,
Quick, knock it down.
any questions? I mean, there is never a dull moment here, never.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else under community and economic development? Hearing none, public comment. Please limit your time to 1 minute. You guys good?
Perfect, thank you.
Anybody on Zoom? Hearing none, we're going to call this meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice.